Hi everyone and welcome to my channel where I practice my English speaking skills. I do it because I believe that one day I will become a good speaker of this language. So, I'm going to answer a few questions in this video, and today's discussion is focused on newspapers today. So in this section there are 6 questions that I'm going to answer one by one. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Do you still read newspapers? No, unfortunately I don't read newspapers, but it's a shame. There is a good reason for it that I believe that everyone should read newspapers. What do I mean by that? Mm, In a newspaper, there is not so wide a selection of information. The information is selected carefully. There's a small chance for fake news, and that's really important in this day and age because fake news are pretty much everywhere. And I firmly believe that there's still a value in newspapers, even though the internet makes such a big competition. They compete. Newspapers struggle to compete with the internet. So maybe one day I will get back to reading newspapers. But to be honest, I try to avoid any information, any news, and because hmm, how do I express it? I've been trying to do recently some digital detox. Yeah, that's the answer. Also, I want to add one thing that, as I've said, there is hmm, there's a small amount of information in newspapers, and it's enough for our brain to digest. But in the case of the internet, there is just too much information for our brain to take in, and our head may feel overwhelmed. I hope you understood what I meant by that. So, moving on to another question. When did you last buy a newspaper? Hmm. It depends. Mm, when I mean strictly newspaper, I have to admit that I've probably never bought any newspaper. Yeah, but if we talk about magazines, that um, I buy them sometimes, at least a few times a year. So sometimes I buy them for my girlfriend. She enjoys magazines about cosmetics and stuff like that. But for me, when was the last time that I bought a magazine? Many years ago. I remember at my young age when I was a child, um, it was popular that magazines had a DVD film in addition. So at my um, family home, I have a pretty wide collection of all the DVD films. It may be worth something. It may have a good worth. I don't know. It's actually an interesting thing to check. So I will do it after I finish making this video. Moving on. When do people buy when do people buy more newspapers? Elections, catastrophes, sports events. Hmm. I have to say that, in my humble opinion, people buy more newspapers at elections times. Um, for me personally, I do that. I mean, I don't buy newspapers, but I'm more interested in news, considering elections, parliamentary or presidential elections. But after the election goes by, I come back to not following any news. But I actually think that the same goes for most of the people. Looking at taking my acquaintances or friends as an example, I think that they don't follow news, um, or they do actually. They check them at Facebook when they scroll for many hours. But is it the news really? Is it watching the news? That's a good question. So, to answer that question briefly, I think that people buy more newspapers at the elections times. Yeah, another one. Which do you prefer and why? Local, regional newspapers or national newspapers? That's an easy one to answer. My choice is obvious, and I have to go with national newspapers. You may ask why. I'm not really interested in regional, local news. They seem boring to me and unimportant. On the other hand, in the national newspapers, you can always find something interesting for you or something that makes you think, makes you stop and think about something. Overall, national newspapers simply seem more important than local ones. And I have to say that I don't really know local figures or local celebrities, if you can call them. I don't even know who's the president of my town that I'm currently living in. So, yeah, I'm not that sure that. Hmm, what did I want to say? I meant that I'm not really sure that I am the only case of that. When my girlfriend comes back home, I will ask her if she knows who is the president of our town. I also may ask it my in-laws. That's an interesting thing to check. But moving on, what would you like to change in newspapers? The answer is obvious. The price. Mm, I don't call myself stingy or mean, but I don't like spending money in an unnecessary way. If I can avoid it, I'd prefer not to spend any money at all. Um, and the internet makes a good competition for newspapers because watching news on the internet is free. As I've already mentioned, there are many risks by doing so, like being overwhelmed by the information, the amount of information, or by fake news. But yeah, if the newspapers were cheaper, or if I weren't so stingy, I would buy more newspapers, definitely. So what would I like to change about them? The price. I'd like it to be, hmm, how do I say it? How do I call it? The more variety of newspapers, the better. I hope you got the point. I mean, left wings and right wings newspapers. I believe that nowadays the newspapers are prejudiced. are biased, left-wing biased, I mean. It's much more difficult to find a newspaper or any news presented by the right wing. That's my opinion. Maybe I talk nonsense. That's what I think. So let me answer the last question for today's video. Will we always have printed newspapers, or will they disappear one day? That's a good one to answer. I'd like to believe that newspapers will never disappear, but the competition from the internet edition is stiff and they are free. So elderly people and definitely prefer printed paper newspapers, but when they are gone and when the digital natives generation will grow old, I don't think that they will use printed newspapers. I think they will stick to the internet. So they might disappear one day, but I'm not sure that they will disappear completely. Some printed editions will stay with us for good. So some printed editions of newspapers will stay with us for good, or at least I'd like it to be so. All right. Today it was difficult. It was a difficult task to answer all these questions. I feel like I stumbled when I try to express my thoughts. But all you need to do is to practice, practice, and practice. That's the whole point of these videos. So, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.